The first thing everyone did after getting off the car was to admire the appearance of Zhang Yi's hideout. They were amazed by its grandeur and magnificence. Zhang Yi smiled and invited everyone, "Please, come in and sit. Make yourselves at home." As the group entered the hideout, Zhou Kr and a few others were already there waiting to welcome them. They had received the news earlier and knew that guests from the Jiangnan region would be arriving. However, they still looked at the people Zhang Yi had brought with curiosity. Zhou Kr whispered into Zhang Yi's ear, "Are they the envoys sent from the Jiangnan region? They indeed look like an official military force." Zhang Yi was not someone who would easily invite others to his hideout, even if they were from the Jiangnan region. Without clear proof of identity and status, Zhang Yi would not have allowed them to step into his restricted area. Zhang Yi said, "They are all envoys from the Jiangnan region here to help Tianhai City resolve the zombie issue. Please quickly prepare some food and drinks." After speaking, Zhang Yi turned and asked Bian Junwu and his group, "By the way, I don't know what you would like to drink. In our house, the conditions are quite simple. We only have a bit of wine, coffee, and some drinks. I hope you don't mind." Hearing these words from Zhang Yi, even Bian Junwu couldn't help but blink. Wu Di especially wanted to strangle Zhang Yi. Bian Junwu calmly said, "Just some boiled and cooled water will be fine." Everyone sat down on the sofas in the living room. To avoid appearing like country folks who had just arrived in the city, they could only quietly observe everything in the room. The luxurious furnishings and the warm, comfortable space were things they couldn't enjoy back in the Jiangnan region. Bian Junwu suddenly said to Zhang Yi, "Can we talk in private?" Zhang Yi nodded with a smile and said, "Of course, please follow me over here." When Bian Junwu made a request, Zhang Yi would naturally try to satisfy it. Zhang Yi instructed others to warmly entertain Wu Di and a few others while he and Bian Junwu went to a small guest room next to this room. This place was very suitable for having tea and chatting because of its comfortable and pleasant space. Zhang Yi had prepared 2 cups of boiled and cooled water, placing one in front of Bian Junwu and one in front of himself. Bian Junwu entered the guest room, stood looking at the falling snow outside for a moment, and then sat down opposite Zhang Yi on the sofa. "Now, with just the two of us, let's get straight to the point. How did you deal with those zombies?" Zhang Yi opened his mouth to speak, but Bian Junwu slowly interjected, "The method you mentioned earlier had some omissions. It might deceive others, but it's unnecessary with me. In reality, the Jiangnan region holds more information than you might imagine." Zhang Yi paused for a moment, thinking to himself that those from Jiangnan were indeed not easily deceived. Deciding not to conceal anything further, Zhang Yi began to explain to Bian Junwu how he dealt with the zombies. "In fact, the method I used to handle those zombies was to drown them. I can't confidently claim that I've completely cleaned out all the zombies in the Qishan area, but within a 50 kilometers radius, there have been no large-scale actions by zombies or mutated rats." He thought to himself that he must be honest now. If he continued lying, it could leave a bad impression on Bian Junwu, which was something he did not want. After Zhang Yi finished his explanation, Bian Junwu took a sip of hot water from the cup beside him and asked, "Why didn't you tell the truth from the beginning? Do you want them to die as many as possible? Is it because they had previously attacked you, or do you hope to become the king of Tianhai City?" Facing Bian Junwu's questions, Zhang Yi neither appeared arrogant nor humble. He slowly responded, "Initially, I might have had a bit of a revenge motive. After all, even without me saying it, you could tell that the relationships between our factions are not harmonious. When one side weakens, the other side strengthens. But the most important reason is not that. The truth is, I genuinely couldn't help them. You should know that the subway network of Tianhai City is extensive, and I can't help their factions handle everything. Moreover, I don't believe this method can solve the fundamental issue. If the zombie king is not eliminated, zombies will continue to appear." Bian Junwu did not give an opinion, but asked back, "Have you ever encountered the zombie king?" Zhang Yi shook his head, "No, but I believe the zombie king must exist. It sounds reasonable. Zombies usually attack places with many people. But why did a group of zombies appear in our hideout where there are only 9 of us, and we rarely go outside?" Zhang Yi smiled deeply, staring at Bian Junwu and slowly said, "Zombies being able to choose targets for attack means that someone is deliberately targeting our faction." Bian Junwoo looked at Zhang Yi and smiled. You are truly very clever. Zhang Yi shook his head. This is not wisdom, just a bit of cleverness that can keep one alive in this apocalyptic world. Bian Junwoo had formed an impression of Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi's method might not solve the problem completely, but it could maintain stability in a part of the area. However, its use needed to be controlled. Otherwise, pushing all the zombies out of Tianhai City could cause a complete outbreak. Without thorough preparation, they wouldn't be able to cope, and they needed to gather more information. Only by solving the issue of the zombie king, knowing what it is and where it is hiding, could they proceed with the extermination. Bian Junwoo made a suggestion to Zhang Yi. You have great potential. I guess you might be a Delta-level mutant. Would you consider leaving this small place and coming to the Jiangnan region? Zhang Yi was very intrigued by the concept of mutant levels mentioned by Bian Junwoo. Wait a moment, what did you just say? What does Delta mean? Bian Junwoo realized that Zhang Yi didn't understand the professional knowledge related to mutants. He couldn't help but laugh. This is not a secret. I can explain it to you. He asked Zhang Yi, in your opinion, when did mutants first appear? Zhang Yi almost immediately replied, when the apocalypse came. Wrong. Bian Junwoo directly refuted Zhang Yi's words. He said, human mutation has existed since ancient times. From the perspective of evolution, all living beings have always undergone mutation. This is unavoidable. Beneficial mutations help individuals survive better, giving them a greater chance to reproduce and pass on the traits to the next generation. This mutation refers to us, modern humans, and our ancestors from hundreds of thousands of years ago, who were almost like two different species. In this process, among billions of people, there were bound to be a few born with special abilities. Bian Junwoo continued, generals with extraordinary strength, prophets who could predict the future, monsters and legends, they were all considered mutants. Bian Junwoo took a sip of hot water and then spoke to Zhang Yi seriously. Mutants have existed throughout history. It's just that there has never been such a large-scale mutation as today. Stimulated by external factors, the entire gene pool has changed, resulting in the emergence of countless mutants. Additionally, there's another reason. When people face life and death situations, they can awaken superpowers. That's why so many people awakened abilities when the apocalypse came. However, countries around the world had been researching human body mutations for a long time, which is why the classification and ranking of mutants have existed for quite a while. Zhang Yi crossed his arms and asked, I've heard about 6 types of mutants before, but how are the levels of mutants divided? Bian Junwoo explained, currently, there is a unified global standard for classification. The first level is Alpha, also known as Level 1. Mutants at this level are born with weak mutant abilities that do not mature. They can only display a part of their superhuman strength and are just a bit stronger than ordinary people. Next is Beta, or Level 2. Compared to Alpha, their abilities are stronger, possessing the strength of elite human warriors, but still with no significant development potential. Following that is Gamma, or Level 3. At this level, mutants have relatively strong superhuman abilities and can hold off hundreds of people. They possess extremely strong primary abilities or a very powerful auxiliary power. At this point, Zhang Yi thought about the people around him. Uncle Vu and Shu Chunlei probably belonged to the Gamma level because their abilities could compensate for hundreds of warriors. Zhang Yi asked curiously, is there more? Bian Junwoo continued, next is the true superhuman level, Delta or Level 4. The most distinct criterion for this level is the ability to absorb energy from other mutants to evolve oneself. Zhang Yi couldn't help but be startled. He was trying to understand an issue that was finally being explained. It made sense why he, Hua, and Liang Yu could absorb others' mutant energy, while Uncle Vu and Shu Chunlei could not. Bian Junwoo said, Delta-level mutants may not display stronger powers than the previous levels, but they can continue to evolve until they reach a maximum threshold. Therefore, they are considered to have extremely high potential. Currently, based on preliminary judgments, you and each leader of the factions belong to this level. In Zhang Yi's mind, he repeated the word Delta. Bian Junwoo had informed him that among mutants, he was a Level 4. This was an extremely high evaluation. As he said this, Bian Junwoo's tone became more serious. Next is the highest current level, Epsilon, or level 5. This represents the ultimate combat power of nations worldwide. They not only can devour the energy of other mutants, but they also possess extremely terrifying mutant powers. Each mutant of this level can be considered an important asset to their nation. Zhang Yi stared at Bian Junwu and couldn't help but ask, "Are you an Epsilon-level mutant?" The power of Bian Junwu when he destroyed thousands of zombies made Zhang Yi feel frightened, even just thinking about it. Bian Junwu smiled slightly and then slowly shook his head. "No, I am just a Delta-level mutant." Zhang Yi couldn't help but take a deep breath. "Even you are only a Delta-level mutant? I find it hard to imagine how powerful an Epsilon-level mutant must be." After hearing Zhang Yi's words, Bian Junwu unexpectedly laughed. Zhang Yi asked, "What's so funny? Did I misunderstand something?" Bian Junwu shook his head. "There's a slight difference from your understanding. In fact, the classification of mutant levels and combat strength do not have an absolute relationship. It represents more of an upper limit of abilities. There are many types of powers, not just combat attributes but also auxiliary or other special types. If abilities are countered or the environment is unfavorable for the powers to be utilized, it wouldn't be strange for a higher level mutant to be killed by a lower level one." Zhang Yi also silently agreed with this. If mutant abilities are considered a type of weapon, whether their power can be fully utilized depends on the user. He pointed to himself and asked Bian Junwu, "So, you judge that I am a Delta-level mutant, meaning level 4, right?" Zhang Yi suddenly laughed. "In theory, you and I are of the same mutant level, yet you regard me highly." Zhang Yi took a sip of tea from the cup in his hand. In his heart, he was pondering Bian Junwu's words. There was no need to hide information, so he confirmed that he was of the same mutant level as Zhang Yi. There were only two possibilities. First, although his ability was very strong, it also had significant weaknesses. Otherwise, with such abilities, it wouldn't be comparable to Zhang Yi's current abilities. Of course, if it came to defensive strength, it would be another story. Second, Bian Junwu recognized the potential of Zhang Yi's space system powers. Space abilities are not absolute combat attributes, but their overall capability is highly versatile. They not only include comprehensive attack and defense but also possess flexible auxiliary effects. Looking at it this way, ranking him as Delta is quite reasonable. Bian Junwu said, "This is just based on my understanding of you to make a judgment. In reality, the ranking of mutants needs to be done by experts in this field for an official classification. I only made an assessment based on your current performance and my experience, concluding that you are a Delta-level mutant. However, Delta is a threshold. Without the devouring ability, you could be classified as level 3 or below." After hearing Bian Junwu's explanation, Zhang Yi gained a basic understanding of the classification of mutant levels. At least based on Bian Junwu's judgment, his potential mutant power was at the Delta level, which is level 4 potential. Although this does not equate to absolute combat strength, it does imply limitless potential. Zhang Yi was quite satisfied with his abilities. However, he became very interested in the mysterious level 5, the Epsilon-level mutants. How powerful were mutants of this level, and did such individuals already exist in this world? With these questions in mind, Zhang Yi took the opportunity to ask, "Mr. Bian, have you ever encountered an Epsilon-level mutant?" Bian Junwu shook his head. "I haven't met one, but I know there is indeed an Epsilon-level mutant in our country." Zhang Yi's eyes lit up. So there really is such a person? As a mutant, Zhang Yi couldn't help but be curious about such an existence. Bian Junwu smiled. "This isn't a secret. After all, when the apocalypse came, each major region needed to manage their surrounding areas to deal with mutated creatures and rogue organizations. In such times, absolute power is necessary for control." When Bian Junwu mentioned the Epsilon-level mutant, his eyes showed a hint of reverence and admiration. The abilities of that person are so powerful that they cannot be explained by ordinary theories. It's said that just being noticed by him can result in death, even from 1,000 miles away. It's like a divine miracle. Zhang Yi almost dropped his cup. He stared at Bian Junwu in disbelief. "You must be joking. Killing someone from 1,000 miles away?" Bian Junwu smirked and looked out the window. "All I know is that if he sets his sights on someone, that person will surely die." Running away would be pointless.